We're going to talk a lot of basketball. So who is sitting in Drew's chair today? Well, none other than Austin Collette waking up with us this morning, sitting in for the illustrious Drew DeArmond. And this is always fun because when you sit in Drew's chair, there are some things that we need to go over before we advance in the show so that you can blend in and fill his role nicely. So, and I didn't tell you any of this yesterday because this is how we do it. If and when we refer to certain teams, there is a standard on this show. First of all, welcome in.
Appreciate it.
Okay. You awake and ready to go?
We are.
Okay, that's good. That's step one. Okay. There is a vocabulary dictionary that we must follow on this show. Somebody at some point throughout the day will get the moron of the word day for somebody that does something stupid. Feel free just to give it to somebody throughout the day if you want. Someone that has done something stupid in the sports world. Number two, when you refer to Texas A&M, they must be referred to as Texas ATM. If we refer to LSU basketball, which we will talk SEC basketball, they must be referred to as Western Union because they pay a crap load of money better than the G League. Georgia is Venmo. If we talk about Georgia football, they'll be Venmo. So there are certain words that we will use throughout the show. So I didn't want to catch you off guard because those are Druinisms that we have a dictionary, and we keep adding to the pages throughout the show. But nonetheless, it's great to have you in on a Wednesday morning.
Oh, it's good. It's good to be here. I make no promises that I can follow those, but I will give it my best.
Good. And if you feel like knocking, go ahead and knock. I mean, and it's just feel free if the chair moves you to do what you need to do. Austin Collette sitting in for Drew DeArmond, but that doesn't stop the fun. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock this morning. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. The show does belong to you. So if you have anything weighing on your mind in the sports world, feel free to give us a ring. A lot to get through today. What are we going to get to? Well, it was a crazy night in SEC basketball last night. Going to be a crazy night tonight on the hardwood. We'll recap a little bit of last night. Look forward to tonight. Both Alabama and Auburn in action tonight as well. Hopefully we'll hear from Bruce Pearl. We'll hear from Nate Oates along the way. Here's something fun. 24/7 Sports has said, okay, look, the SEC reigns supreme. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We're going to break down the college football teams that could dethrone the SEC when it comes to winning the national championship. 24/7 Sports has given us a percentage of about 5 teams that says these could potentially dethrone the SEC. A couple of them laughable, a couple of them you could take serious. Deion Sanders sat down with Dan Patrick. Name, image, and likeness has been at the forefront of college football. And I found this morning, and the coach, Prime, has his thoughts on name, image, and likeness. We will hear from Deion Sanders as well. But SEC basketball tonight coming up on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Alabama will take on Mississippi State. Pre-game coverage 5 o'clock on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Tip-off set for 6. We'll break down that here in just a minute. But let's get out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Pat from Tuscaloosa with us. Good morning, Pat. You have got Scott and Austin this morning.
Good morning, Scott. I don't know Austin, but hey, Houston, Texas ATM down there undoubtedly have run out of money and can't get the Mannings on board.
Well, it appears that way. It appears for right now. I mean, and here's the thing, though. Keep in mind, Pat, that the Manning family has done a fantastic job when it comes to keeping a lot of this secret or keeping a lot of it. But the feeling is, for those that don't know, Arch Manning right now, the two schools appear to be Texas and Alabama as the forefront runners to get said Arch Manning.
Yes, and what it'll do for the recruiting class for either school. But I think that probably the Mannings have finally realized that it's where that he should go to school is Alabama. I can remember back when Eli's freshman year, I was sitting on the 45-yard line about 20 rows up, and I was watching it as they put him in the game. Toward the end of the game, it was 45-0, I think, Alabama at that point. And had that child gotten hurt, it would have been his grandmother's fault for forcing him to go to Ole Miss. What do you think?
You mean Eli Manning going to Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was, our
defense was killing them.
Yeah, but you got to look at it though. I mean, Peyton went to Tennessee. Peyton was the outlier. I mean, Tennessee. Well, I mean, think about it. The Mannings didn't have any connections to Tennessee. I mean, David Cutcliffe was there, but then you look at Ole Miss. David Cutcliffe was at Ole Miss. You know, the father was an Ole Miss legend. So you look at Ole Miss along the way, and I mean, you can understand why Eli chose Ole Miss. I mean, that one there, you can understand that one. Now Arch, I mean, this one's a whole different story. I mean, he's not going to Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. We know that one is if Ole Miss was coached by probably anybody else. Let's say Steve Sarkisian had gone to Ole Miss instead of Texas. Austin, you could see an Arch Manning giving Ole Miss some consideration.
Yeah.
Could you not?
And I think it's the biggest reason is that Lane is wanting to parlay that Ole Miss job into a bigger position. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, look, make no bones about it. Lane Kiffin wanted out of Ole Miss this past year. I mean, I don't think that would surprise anybody. I mean, Austin, what Miami probably. You look at any school. Miami was open this year. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that were open, the bigger openings. And Lane Kiffin, I mean, this guy is trying his hardest, I think, to get out of Ole Miss, but I don't think anybody wants him.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly have to look at recent stops like at Tennessee, where he was there for only 1 year. He was run out of USC. And, obviously you look at the attractive destination, the history that is behind Miami, but, at the same time, you also look at what he's got to face in the SEC, just in his own division. We see what Jimbo Fisher's coming up with at Texas A&M with one of the biggest recruiting classes. We know what, the powerhouse Alabama is every year. And who's to say, that LSU doesn't rebound with a new coaching change? That SEC West division, I think everybody knows that's a murderer's row come conference play.
Yeah, Pat. So, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, Lane Kiffin, he does. He wants out of Ole Miss, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest reason that Ole Miss was eliminated is that stability. And I think that's where – but the biggest reason that I see that Alabama winning this fight for this number one recruit is that Coach Saban's ability to produce a consistent winner.
Well, that and you look at the quarterbacks that they've had under center over the last, 4 or 5 years, and as much as he has a love-hate relationship probably with some Alabama fans, and the frustration level was high with him. But Jalen Hurts started, you go back, Jalen Hurts, then Tua, and then Mac Jones, and now you got Bryce Young. The quarterback play at Alabama has elevated over the past few years. And the wide receiver play has elevated over the past 5-6 years. And you look at all that, and that has Alabama at the forefront of a lot of these quarterbacks, these recruits and everything. So that is where I think Alabama has separated themselves. And then Steve Sarkisian, I mean, I think the relationship with Steve Sarkisian is why Texas is still in the mix.
Yeah, but I really believe that Texas is still they not very stable.
Right.
And I mean, in all actuality, they're just not very stable.
Right.
And but anyway, I look for this thing to be fantastic. And when he does, hey, this may be Coach Saban's, last hurrah.
Could be.
Hey, have a blessed day.
Thanks for the call, Pat.
Taking my call.
All right, let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brandon's with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, guys.
How we doing?
Well, I kind of want to talk about a situation, and I figure you're probably going to dive into it. But it's so good, and it has the Jerry Springer potential to it, even though it's a kind of a smaller situation. I think it's going to be interesting to watch to see how it plays out and how it sets precedent going forward. This Conference USA situation is getting ready to turn into a crap show of epic proportions. You got a conference that says, we made a schedule and you're on it and you're going to play. And then you got these teams that said, come July 1st, you can go pound sand. And they're saying, okay, well, we're going to sue you into performing your contract. And I know all this is civil and not criminal. So I am really interested to see, can Conference USA sue these teams into having to play a schedule this year, or can they play the punk out money and walk, or did they not serve notice in time to be able to not play? Like this could be a crap show that could be very entertaining to watch.
Well, all I know is that Conference USA has refused to even sit down and discuss terms of an early exit with several of these schools. So all three schools, that being, I believe, Southern Miss, all three schools released a similar statement yesterday. The Sun Belt declined comment on the news. Conference USA released a statement that read, there's a major realignment happening across college athletics landscape. All conference and their members have agreed upon bylaws and contractual obligations for when transition occurs. I believe Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss all announced last Friday that they will leave Conference USA on June 30th of this year. It's been a messy breakup, as you've alluded to. They're trying to join the Sun Belt Conference, and right now Conference USA is holding them hostage. I guess that's the best word for it, and not letting them leave to go to said Sun Belt. They announced their schedule. Both Marshall's on the schedule for next year. I mean, Brandon, at this point, I don't know. It is something's going to get played out, and it's not going to be great. If you're Marshall, if you're Old Dominion, if you're Southern Miss, obviously they're not letting you write the check, because otherwise you probably would have already written the check and been done.
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering is if they get added to the other conference, come July 1st, a schedule pops out, and those three teams are scheduled to play in the other conference. And then they don't play in USA, and they're on the Sun Belt. I mean, I liken this situation to your wife telling you that she's leaving you, and then you want to have a sit-down, but she doesn't, and she's like, I'm gone. So if July 1st, these teams are on the Conference USA schedule, but they're also on the Sun Belt, you forfeit these games or they don't get played, what happens from there? Like it's one of the best games of chicken I've seen in a while.
Well,
I mean, Texas and Oklahoma could do this, I guess, if they wanted to.
Right.
They could immediately depart, but they didn't.
But see, now I think they could pay in the Big 12, and then they would sit down and come to an agreement. Conference USA, in their bylaws, it says that the buyout is a forfeiture of 2 years of conference payouts. But Conference USA has maintained that the schools still have a contractual commitment, and the early departure of the schools could lead to damages through less inventory for its media right deal. So Conference USA right now is trying to look out for the conference as a whole and basically saying, hey, you know what? This is the 2 years, but we're also going to make it a little bit more messier for you. And what didn't help was that yesterday Conference USA released the football schedules, still including Marshall, Southern Miss, and Old Dominion on the schedules. So
and that's that's what's interesting to me is, can they force them legally to have to play in the conference this year? Because it seems like a bunch of babble and hot air coming out of Conference USA, because if the Sun Belt puts them on the schedule and schedules them to play, what will be the legal ramifications? Can they sue them into financial problems?
I don't know.
Break them?
I do not know the answer to that one.
But people talk about the transfer portal being interesting. To me, it hadn't got nothing on this situation, because this, to me, is going to set a benchmark for what you can do going forward if the schools disagree with the conference. Who is going to have supremacy and what's going to be enforced? I think it's really going to set the precedent and the standard, and I think it's just heating up. But this really caught my eye, and I really wondered what you guys thought about it, because y'all seen conferences break up over the years.
Yeah.
At my age, I haven't seen like the Southwest and all the other ones, but I don't think that the money was as big a deal back then as it is now. And I think now, when it comes to the money, it's a knife fight to the death. They're out for blood, and they're not playing. So this is going to be – I almost want to say that Conference USA could end up being moron of the year for thinking that they can punk these guys into playing.
They may be. All right, Brandon, thanks for the phone call.
Thanks, sir.
Brandon with us. And it's an interesting situation there, because what do you do now? Your schedules, if you're Conference USA, you've released your schedules. Marshall, Southern Miss, Old Dominion intend still to leave. They have made no bones about it. They've intended to leave. They said yesterday they intend to leave. That their plan is to leave at the end of the calendar school year. What do you do if you're Conference USA? Why do you release this? I don't know. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that I always think about in these situations is I feel like the higher power, holds more of the cards, and I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Conference USA kind of flexes their muscles, if for no other reason, just because they can. I mean, it's that simple.
I don't know. It's an interesting situation. And it's one that I guess for here in the state of Alabama, it does have a little bit of impact, because Conference USA is where UAB resides. What does UAB do? Where does this put UAB next year as far as opponents go if they were set? I haven't looked at UAB's schedule for next year to see if Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss were on that schedule. I don't know where that would leave the Blazers, but obviously it leaves a conference in peril. Let's get that first break in, because when we come back, UAH head basketball coach John Schulman, we're going to get fired up, cranked up, and ready to go for some Charger basketball tonight. Chargers on the road to West Alabama.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All clear this morning. Traffic at a heavy level across the valley, but we still don't have anything accident-wise. No stalls or traffic signal headaches. You enjoy the break while you got it. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Mercury Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, Mercury Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
What began in a backyard in the 1920s is still going strong today. In this area, the name Gibson means barbecue. And even after over 65 years in Huntsville, Gibson's is trusted for delicious barbecue pork, chicken, ribs, freshly baked pies, and the best breakfast in town. Family owned and operated for 4 generations. Gibson's Barbecue, South Parkway in Huntsville, and online at gibsonsbbq.com. Gibson's Barbecue, Huntsville's best since 1956.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talkin Ball with Scott and Drew.
Welcome back to Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond today. Drew is hanging out down in the Northeast Regionals at Jacksonville State, helping Huntsville High down there this morning. So Austin Collette sitting in for the illustrious Drew DeArmond on this Wednesday morning. It is a big Wednesday. Super Wednesday when it comes to basketball right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. First, Alabama, Mississippi State. That's going to tip off at 6 o'clock. You'll be able to hear that one right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And then coming up on 97.7 ESPN The Zone 2, 7 o'clock, UAH. The men traveling to take on West Alabama tonight. Big game for the Chargers. Anytime you flip that calendar into February and games start meaning something, they just get a little bit more bigger. Joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline like he does each and every week, courtesy of Sportsmed Orthopedic Spine and Surgery Center and Care, John Shulman, head coach of the UAH Chargers, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, good morning. No Drew today, but Austin Collette sitting in for him on a Wednesday.
I feel like it's Christmas with no Drew. We're going to have a great time today.
We have a great time when Drew's here.
I'm just messing with you. No, I knew Drew would be at Jack State today to follow his Huntsville Panthers. He loves Huntsville. Let me just say something. That dude is a very smart sports guy, and he's got a lot of stuff going on in his head. So we'll miss him today, but we'll still have a good time.
We will. And Coach, speaking of a good time, Saturday inside Spraggins Hall this past Saturday was a good time. UAH has to go to overtime, but you prevail 71-67 over Lee in what Steve and I were calling it on the radio. It was an early tournament game because, it had all the feels of a tournament game. It had the physicality. It had just the intense moments. It had everything wrapped up in 40 minutes.
Well, as I watched Tennessee, Kentucky last night, it really reminded me of Lee and UAH. Now, we don't have the size and athleticism of Kentucky and Tennessee, but it's the same rivalry. And the same identical thing happened. Tennessee goes, Kentucky gets pounded. We went to Lee and got pounded. And then Tennessee came back as we came back and probably had that date circled for a long time. And we both drew a line in the sand and said, you ain't coming across this line. And I was really, really proud of our kids. We played with more physicality and toughness on Saturday in an unbelievable environment, very electric environment. Our students and our fans have been fantastic this year, coming off of COVID. So you're right. That was a tournament-type game. We really, we controlled the game from start to finish. We just had a couple of hiccups, had to go in overtime. And I'll tell you this, our kids in that locker room were as excited as I've seen them. But we're picking up steam, and this is a great time to pick up steam. We're playing better. I think we proved an awful lot. Remember, Scott, that was the same lead team that returned 100% of their scoring from last year, as we did not. And they should have been on top of the league. And now we're one game behind them, and there's 48 different teams tied with 7 losses in the league, and we're trying to figure out where everybody belongs. But we can't worry about anything except can we go to Livingston, Alabama, and once again draw the line in the sand against the 23rd ranked team in the country, and that's West Alabama.
Well, Coach, let's talk about that. And you mentioned Lee being old. West Alabama has a little bit of girth under those uniforms as well. They're a very veteran style team and a very physical team as well. It's almost going to be like a similar style of game between Lee and West Alabama.
Well, here's the deal, and we tried to tell everybody before the season started, we're the youngest team probably in the country. We're starting 3 freshmen in a year that everybody got everybody back with that super COVID year, and everybody's old and everybody's a veteran. And but now, as the head coach of Seattle Pacific said, as soon as our game was over, our first game of our season out in Missouri, he looked at me and said, I wouldn't want to play you in February and March. And that's the deal. This is not a young team anymore. We don't have a young team, but we're still starting 3 freshmen. And so we're a little bit more experienced. But West Al reminds me of our team last year. They win every tight game. They're 20-4. They're on top of the league, and they win. They don't get rattled, and they win every tight game. It's a very hostile and tough environment at West Al. It seats probably about 1,000 people, and there'll be 1,001 in there tonight. And it's hot and nasty, and it'll be a great environment for our kids to keep continuing to grow up. I'll tell you when we grew up, I think we grew up at Valdosta in that type of environment, and we didn't really, just be honest, we didn't blink. They played unbelievable first half. We came back and had a chance in the second half, and then kind of rode that to West Florida and rode that to Lee. And now it's time to ride that down to Livingston, Alabama today and be ready to play a really good West Alabama team that really fits us. They make 5 threes a game. They play inside the 3 instead of out. That fits us defensively. And it'll be interesting. If we could somehow – now, listen, we didn't luck into beating Lee. We didn't shoot the fire out of the ball. We went 2 for 19 from the three-point line and beat Lee. That is a great sign for us because I don't think we're going to continue going 2 for 19 from the three-point line. And now we got our inside kind of rolling. We'll start making some shots. Our point guard play is better. This is what February is all about.
Coach Austin here. You talk about West Alabama, and it is a tough opponent looking at their schedule. Winners in their last 5, 8 of their last 9. And now this is a road game for your team. You talk about it's a great challenge for them. How do you prepare them for an opponent that's not just atop of the GSC, but also a team that's on a hot streak that they are right now at this point in their season?
Just be honest, I think people, and I think Saban talked about this earlier, I think people are more dangerous coming off of losses than coming off of wins. I think people, I think it's human nature. They've won a lot of games, and it's just human nature. You relax a little bit when you win a lot of games. And when you're a good program and you know what you're doing and you got good players, man, when you come off a loss, you're hungry. I think the team that needs it more and wants it more come February and March, and the tougher team wins, has a better chance to win basketball games. You know, I mean, West Al's fighting to win the GSC, but they're probably already in the NCAA tournament with an at-large berth. They're already in the GSC. We're fighting for our lives. This is a must-win for us tonight. And must-wins get your urgency, get your poise, get your toughness. They get everything out of your team. So we've really let our team know, hey, it'll be a tough one, but this is a must-win. If we want to do something that we want to do, it's still in the cards for us. We've got to figure out a way to go to West Al and find a way to score more points or keep them from scoring enough points that we can get a half a point more because it'll be one of those tough environments, and it'll be a high-level game in February. We're looking forward to it.
UAH head coach John Schulman joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, Coach, after the game, I told Chaney Johnson that we would have to bring it up because we've talked about the bad side of everything, but on Saturday, Chaney Johnson played 37 minutes. He said he was tired after the game because he hadn't been on the floor. He said this, not me. He said that I'm tired because I haven't been on the floor that long. 37 minutes, no fouls for Chaney Johnson on Saturday against Lee.
Well, I will tell you this. Chaney and CJ, they are 12-year-old kids. I mean, they literally, they are fun-loving kids. They're little kids. And as my wife will say, men grow up, we mature at a different rate than females. And so, a 55-year-old John Schulman really acts like a 17-year-old kid, all right? And so Chaney and CJ are little kids. And for whatever reason last week, they had amazing focus, and they've had great focus this week. And I told them after the game, I texted both of them, I said, if you will continue the focus that you all had last week in prep for the league, we're going to be in great shape. So I think that started way earlier. Chaney was pretty embarrassed, actually, how he played at Valdosta and West Florida. He had a really different kind of a tempo and weight to him last week. And I remember Anthony Camara going, Chaney's in a funky mood. I was like, I don't think so. I think he's focused for the first time this year. And he was focused. He played the game the right way. He really, just be honest, offensively, I don't know if I think he had 22 or 23, but he was 10 for 22, I think, from the floor.
10 of 23, 22 points.
Yeah, he didn't finish around the basket like he normally does, but he stayed on the court. He played with great maturity. He rebounded the ball. He played really good defensively, had a big-time steal on that left wing, just staying down. That's where our major improvements have been. Like I said, after the AUM game, was it bad karma or was it bad D? It was bad D. It wasn't bad karma. Karma had nothing to do with that game. Karma has nothing to do with our season. Our season changed really after that game. We started staying down defensively. Our box outs versus Lee were elite. They were fantastic. And now can we take it again? Can we have that same aggressiveness and toughness on the road? And that's our next step forward for this basketball team.
Taking a look at your numbers from last night, both teams had 12 turnovers, but the one thing that stands out, Lee last night has just 6, on Saturday night, they have just 6 points off of turnovers, and yet your team manages to come away with 20. If you kind of do it by layups, you only don't convert off of 2 of those turnovers. What was it like to see your team do that defensively, especially with the offense struggling from 3?
Well, you better figure out ways to score. when you and here's the deal. Here's a sign of a really good basketball team. If you can continue to guard like crazy and things aren't flowing easily offensively, that's the sign. It's easy to play D when you're making threes and everything going well. It's a little tougher when you're not scoring the ball great and you're still defending like crazy. And that's what you have to do to win a championship and to have an opportunity to win meaningful games. You got to guard like Lee knows us like the back of their hand. We know them, they know us. West Alabama is phenomenal defensively. And we've won 3 straight at West Al. So we swept them last year, and we won a huge game 2 years ago down at West Al. They're really good defense. They're going to know us. Can we guard them? Can we guard them? And when you guard people, it keeps you in it long enough where you're going to make a shot or 2, and you're going to make a big 3. I'm just going to tell you, I think we end up winning the basketball games because of the little plays. We had 2 offensive rebounds on free throws in overtime, and they by our most athletic players, Sutton Smith, who stands about 5'9" maybe, and Luke Burnett, who's gotten 4 rebounds all year, I think total. They got huge offensive rebounds on free throws, on missed free throws in maybe I know it was the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game or overtime. Those are huge plays for us. So little plays help you have better karma. Isn't that correct, Scott? We talk about it all the time.
Yes.
It ain't bad karma or good karma. It's good little plays or bad little plays which really affect the game.
Coach, let's talk about the maturation of Sutton Smith. He was on the floor running the point late on Saturday. The Gulf South Conference names him Freshman of the Week this past week. What has he done? How's he developed as the season gone on in your eyes?
Listen, he's a freshman, a true freshman. We have 3 freshmen in the lineup. At least Luke and Cheney are COVID freshmen. But Sutton Smith's a true freshman. He's out there playing literally against 24-year-old men, not young men. 22, 23, 24. This kid's a 19-year-old kid, and it takes time. But he's kind of got the it factor, just to be honest. He had offers to go to West Point Navy. He had Division I offers. He comes here because he loves our basketball program, and he will fight you. He ain't scared of anything. He did a phenomenal job boxing out. He did a great job on the glass. And you're saying he's 5'10", not super athletic, but he knows how to play the game. He did. He missed a crucial layup in that game at the very end of regulation, but he's got the guts to be involved and to take that layup. He missed a big 3, but you gotta miss that layup and you gotta miss a big 3 to be able to make those layups and to make a big 3. You gotta experience a little failure before you can have success. He's had enough of that, but he's been in the moment. He's not scared of the moment, and he's getting better, and I was really excited to see him get that award.
Well, Coach, we got to peek ahead, though, too. It's a busy week. You got West Alabama tonight, but then another road game, West Georgia, on Saturday.
Well, we finished with 3 at home, which is huge for us. So I think we're 11-1 at home. But if you want to do something special, you got to figure out ways to win on the road. And of late, we've been a little bit better on the road. Young teams struggle on the road. Old teams, last year we went 8-0 in conference play on the road. That was an old team. This year's a young team. So we have found our struggles on the road, but we're getting that thing figured out. West Georgia's fighting like we are to figure out where they belong in the tournament or if they belong in the tournament. So it'll be 2 Bulldogs fighting for 1 bone on Saturday. Now, that game, they've changed that time, Scott. That game is at 2 o'clock. We do play at 2, and the women play at 4. But it'll be, listen, this is our last 2 road games of the year. And at West Alabama, at West Georgia, 2 huge games. Every game's huge. Every possession's huge. And if we want to do something and play meaningful games in March, we better be the tougher team in February.
All right. UAH head coach John Shulman with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, good luck tonight, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Austin, thanks for filling in. We missed Drew to a point, Scott, but that's just to a point.
We do.
But no, I appreciate you filling in. Appreciate what you guys do. And if y'all need something, yell. And Scott, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Thanks, Coach. UAH head coach
care.
John Shulman with us. Of course, today's interview brought to you by Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. Give them a call today, 256-881-5151, to experience the Sportsmed difference. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, they are the proud training providers of the UAH Chargers, and they invite you to visit their Saturday sports clinic for all of those sports-related injuries. Each Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., visit 4715 Whitesburg Drive. It's the Sportsmed Saturday Sports Clinic. Let's get a break in. When we come back, going to wrap up Hour 1, Talkin Ball.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck southbound on Research Park, just north of 565. 3 vehicles involved in that one, so we may have some blockage to deal with. And we've got lumber spilled on the road. This is reported northbound I-65 to eastbound 565. They're saying about 22 befores in the road there. Snelling has immediate direct hire need for accountants with QuickBooks experience. Bookkeeping, accounts payable and receivable, and inventory accounting a plus. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. Coming in April, Valley will have a second location opening up on the North Parkway between Winchester Road and Bob Wade. They'll be offering bigger contractor-only type equipment, including 10K reach forklifts, 300 series track hose, and larger rollers and dozers, along with other equipment. Valley Equipment's 2 locations will better serve the region and allow them to grow their fleet. Valley Equipment Rental, locally owned for 10 years, where they put more care in every rental.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Yep, I said before. Block heartburn at the source by taking the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. With just 1 pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn relief. That's all day. Start the 2-week challenge today at prilosecotc.com and live heartburn-free. Just 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of no knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Get your Ford your way today. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we've got F-150s in stock right now. We have F-150s on the ground so you can climb behind the wheel and take a test drive today. Plus at Woody Anderson Ford, our 2021 F-150s come with $1,000 in bonus cash, along with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months with your good credit. This offer ends February 28th. To be clear, these F-150s are in stock today, ready for your garage tonight. Now let's talk about making a custom factory order. Not only is there no extra cost to custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on 2022 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, and Mustang. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and you'll see how easy it is. And speaking of easy, our service department is now offering free pickup and delivery when it's time for your next Ford service. Ask about it at Woody Anderson Ford, the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Look forward to seeing you.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Now's a great time to give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on the show this morning. Scott Theisen, no Drew DeArmond today. Drew's on his way. Well, he should be there. It's 7:49. I imagine Huntsville High is already there, getting ready. Well, maybe not quite there yet. They're getting ready today. It is regional basketball play from the Northeast Regional. Today you do have Class 7A on the hardwood at Jacksonville State today. Huntsville's in action. Sparkman is in action. If we take a look at the 7A bracket, Huntsville will take on Vestavia Hills on the boys' side today at 10:30. And then at 1:30 on the boys' side, Sparkman will take on Spain Park. And if both of them are fortunate enough to get wins, they would face each other yet again, which would be, I believe, let's see, they faced each other twice in area, once in the Huntsville City Classic. Could be the fourth meeting between Huntsville and Sparkman if they're fortunate enough. Five?
Yeah.
It's five?
Had the area championship.
That's right. So it's the area championship, Huntsville City Classic, twice during the regular season for the area play. So it'd be five. And that would be for a right to go to the Final Four at the BJCC. But first things first, they have to get through each other's opponent. And Spain Park, Sparkman, Vestavia Hills, and Huntsville. On the girls' side today, in Class 7A, both Sparkman and Huntsville in action. Huntsville will take on Vestavia Hills at 9 a.m., and then at noon, the Sparkman ladies will take on Hewitt-Trussville. That is all action from the Northwest or the Northeast Regional at Jacksonville State. So a lot of basketball really then cranking off tomorrow. You get an action from the Northwest Regional at Wallace State Hansville. That'll get underway tomorrow, but today it belongs to Class 7A. So Drew down there, you've seen Huntsville High play. You've seen them a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a chance to do a lot of their games in January on NFHS. Certainly from calling Huntsville football this past October, September, and August, I am biased towards the Crimson Panthers. I do wish them well. But, man, you got to understand, too, I come from, southern middle Tennessee. Okay. And just so the step up of the level of play that I've seen from there the last, 5-6 years that I had a chance to cover it there to here, it's a whole different world, and I can even recall doing the area tournament with Steve on Wednesday. They announced the all-area players. I think it was 11 overall that got named. And, it hit me on Friday there's going to be 7 all-area players in this one championship game. You
Yeah.
know, for Huntsville,
Yeah.
obviously the usual suspects of Chun, Messiah Morris, Jamari Arnold, Caleb Harrison. On the flip side, Jacobs, Price, and Lightford, who's a Mr. Basketball candidate in 7A for Sparkman. You know, it's incredible the talent level that was just in North Alabama. You know, and those are 2 very talented teams, and obviously I wish them well. And 2, on the girls' side, which I haven't seen a lot of, the only connection I've got is from back home. He was a former assistant at Lincoln County. His name's Matt Prince. He's now in his first year as an assistant with Sparkman. I've heard that team is ridiculously talented,
Well,
and I certainly wish him well.
Yeah, Sparkman has, on the women's side, on the girls' side, Sparkman has a lot of history, a lot of successful history with girls basketball. And June Seals did a marvelous job before she retired there at Sparkman, elevating that program, and it has continued to roll. No doubt going into this, Sparkman will be a heavy favorite in this one. I don't think they'll have to see Hoover until probably they get to the BJCC. So Huntsville or Sparkman has a great shot of getting out of the Northeast Regional on the girls' side. And you bring up Kalen Lightford. He just picked up an offer from University of Virginia Wise. The University of Virginia's college at Wise. So congratulations to Kalen Lightford. Picked up an offer there. So obviously good things there. But Drew's there. High school basketball tonight, or this morning, I should say. And college basketball right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone later tonight. Just a few more minutes, just a couple minutes left of play here in hour number 1. Let's get you ready, though, for some SEC basketball. Let's get you ready from SEC basketball last night. Let's take a step back real fast. The game of the night, though, I know everybody wants to say Tennessee and Kentucky because it was a pair of top 25 matchups. But the play of the night would have to come from South Carolina and Ole Miss. Take a listen.
Jermaine not having any luck getting it in. Now finds Reese at midcourt, and he shoots it immediately, and he makes it in! He makes it in! Holy moly, James Reese from midcourt sinks a three-pointer, and the Gamecocks have won in Oxford for only the 3rd time ever. James Reese from the midcourt line in overtime.
South Carolina gets by Ole Miss 77-74 in overtime. They win with 2 seconds left in overtime on a half-court heave. So South Carolina and Frank the Tank, they get a much-needed win. And then in Knoxville last night,
Awfully impressive performance for Rick Barnes and the Volunteers in front of this raucous crowd that started arriving 4 hours before the tip. They answer the call, and they do it in loud, impressive fashion. After a 28-point blowout, they win by 13, 76-63.
Tennessee topples Kentucky 76-63. 16th ranked Tennessee over 4th ranked Kentucky. And Austin, what makes that big is because we went over this yesterday, and Joe Lunardi's bracketology yesterday. Now, this is going to change because Kentucky lost. Yesterday, Joe Lunardi had Auburn and Kentucky as number 1 seeds in his bracketology that he released yesterday morning in time for us to go over them on the show. Kentucky probably, without loss last night, will fall from a number 1 seed position.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and you would think that the only way they can regain it is if you do come back and win the SEC championship, and of course you would have to overcome the top-ranked Auburn Tigers.
What are the chances do you think Auburn maintains this and ends up with a number 1 seed?
Man, I don't know, because we all know that college basketball is crazy. It's March Madness for a reason.
They still have Tennessee on the schedule, does Auburn?
They do. And it's just, I know, the legend Jack Doss says he doesn't believe in this, but, I do think peaking has some reason to do with it. Even take a look at the game that'll be on the airwaves tonight, UAH and West Alabama, 8 of the last 9, UAH 4 of the last 5. You hit certain streaks,
Right.
and you're just clicking, and momentum certainly rides that, and my question I would beg is Auburn peaking too early, or are they just clicking at the wrong time, so to speak? It's going to bottom out come SEC or even NCAA tournament. You don't know. It's college basketball is way too hard to predict over a long period of time. You just got to really take it as it rolls.
So Vanderbilt, Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Mississippi State, South Carolina. That's the remaining schedule for Auburn. Home against Vanderbilt, at Florida, home against Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Mississippi State, and South Carolina. That's the remaining schedule for Auburn. Now, remember, about 4 weeks ago, I believe ESPN's Power Index, same thing that they do for football, they do exactly for basketball. They predicted Auburn to have 3 losses heading into the SEC tournament. 3 losses. They've got 2. You see one more on the schedule?
Tennessee would seem like the only likely one to me, but take a look too. You have Auburn on the road in that schedule, and you also have Mississippi State. If anyone's going to lose, it's going to be on the road, those top teams. That tends to be your upset.
All right, guys, that's hour 1. Hour 2, we'll kick off. We're going to talk a little college basketball, get you ready for Auburn and Alabama's games tonight, plus some college football talk. Talking Ball.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
At a wreck southbound on Research Park, just north of 565. 3 vehicles involved in that one. Sounds like HPD's making quick work of getting it moved out of the way. And we had a report of lumber in the roadway from northbound I-65 to eastbound 565. Decatur PD was checking that one. No hoses, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for info on the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Clouds going to increase through the later part of the afternoon, and then especially as we head into the early part of the evening. Despite the increase in cloud cover, temperatures still going to climb into the low and mid-60s. Going to be breezy through Wednesday afternoon. Sustained winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wind gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. We're going to maintain those breezy conditions through Thursday night. Speaking of your Thursday, showers and thunderstorms will move into the Tennessee Valley ahead of a cold front. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
College hoops, number 2 Auburn at home tonight against Vanderbilt. The Tigers bouncing back after their first SEC loss with a win over Texas A&M in their last game. Auburn a 13.5-point favorite tonight. The over-under set at 143. Atlanta Hawks on the road tonight against the Magic. Atlanta a 5.5-point road favorite. Hawks coming off a home win over the Cavs in their last game. The over-under tonight set at 226.5. John Rahm topping the odds board heading into day 1 of the Genesis Invitational tomorrow at plus 1,000. Dustin Johnson and Patrick Cantley each at plus 1,400, and Colin Morikawa and Justin Thomas at plus 1,600.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And welcome back to Hour 2 of Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Austin Collette filling in for Drew DeArmond today. It is Hour 2 of Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And I got a laugh out of this morning when I heard this. And name, image, and likeness. Your thoughts, though, on name, image, and likeness and what it has done to college, for the most part right now, college football.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that, when we're talking about name, image, and likeness, what is it really impacting? I would say primarily college football and then college basketball. It certainly does change up really the entire game, and starting at recruiting, right. Because, now it's not just factoring in, where you're going to have the best chances to showcase your talents, the best chance to at a school where you've got to win. Now it's, hey, what kind of endorsements can I get? What's in it for me?
Right.
And now I think it's a bad thing in certain instances, but at the same time, I think it is good. If the schools are going to profit off of these players, and, when it comes to the big-time players, who you'll see in the playoffs, the big-time bowl games, certainly playing on a Sunday, the NCAA is going to be able to market those guys like you wouldn't believe. So, hey, if you're a player, why not? If I can make a little bit off myself too, why not?
Right. Coach Prime. Deion Sanders, Jackson State head coach. He's been on both sides of the table. He's obviously capitalized on his name, image, and likeness on the pro level. Didn't have it when he obviously was at Florida State. But here is Coach Prime. He joined the Dan Patrick Show a couple days ago. And here is his thoughts on name, image, and likeness. Just take a listen to what the coach has to say.
HBCUs are at a tremendous disadvantage because of the giving, because of the boosters, because of the amount of visual and understanding. So I would alter the rules. It would be different rules for FCS other than FBS. It's not equatable. It don't even make sense. So we would be able to do a little more with our kids.
Would you put a cap on it?
You can't cap it.
No.
You can't cap it. I mean, this is the problem I have. Like, you have some guys at FBSs that you hear that, man, they're getting $800 or $900 or $1 million. Dan, what have you seen them on? What are they endorsing? I ain't seen it yet. But you have, HBCU kids, you have someone like my son, you've seen him with the Brady line, with Beats, Gatorade. You've seen this stuff. It's tangibly, you can see it. I hadn't seen any of the others. The kid that left Ohio State that said he was close to, how do you let somebody walk away with close to $1 million that you said? The kid from Oklahoma that left and went to South Carolina, how do you walk away? I don't understand that. And now you got some of the big schools that paying their linemen, every lineman that signs get $50,000. We can't compete with that, man. We can't compete with that.
Well, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, with his thoughts on name, image, and likeness. I know Jackson State can't compete with that. They're not trying to compete with that. So I agree with him. Different levels need to happen because there's, the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Texas ATMs, the South Carolinas, the Venmos, they all have cash. They all have cash flow. They can make things happen. Your FCS schools, they can't. The UNAs, the Jack States, the Alabama A&Ms, they can't make things happen like that on that level. I agree with him there. I also agree with him in the fact that, okay, so-and-so is reportedly to making this money, this much money, this much money. How do you let them leave? If they've made $1 million, Quinn Ewers was the guy that Coach Prime was referring to from Ohio State that left and went to Texas. Quinn Ewers, early enrolled, took advantage of name, image, and likeness, left Ohio State, went to Texas. Spencer Rattler is the quarterback that he referred to that went from Oklahoma to South Carolina. How do you let them leave? And do you honestly believe, Austin, do you believe that they're making $1 million?
Maybe. Me personally, all I have to go off is their word, so sure, by all means. But, I think he does pose a good question, when he talks about his son with the Beats, with the Gatorades. Those are big-time brands. And so certainly it is plausible to make, $1 million combined off of that. But like he said, too, like the report was Bryce Young was in the area of $1 million. And I'm like Coach Prime, off of what? I couldn't tell you one ad that I've seen Bryce Young in for Alabama. I've seen him in more football games. What are they doing
for the money?
Exactly.
What are they doing for the money now? Now people want to know, what are you doing? All right, let's pause this conversation because let's get out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff from the Borough with us on a Wednesday. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, guys. I was going to ask you, what about other sports like basketball and other ones, baseball and stuff?
Yeah. We haven't gotten in. I mean, right now, I guess just because we're coming out of the football season and football was really the first sport to kind of really usher this in, I'm sure we'll see some stuff coming up with basketball. I'm sure we'll see stuff coming up with baseball as the season kind of progresses. But I think football was the first one to do it simply because they were the first sport really to go on the field. And it's the highest profile sport on a campus, so I think that's why it just garners the most attention right now. That's the only reason.
Well, of course, it's a 2,000-pound gorilla, of course. But I just didn't know what he thought about that as far as the bigger as far as the basketball schools is kind of the powerhouse. I mean, kind of the powerhouse in the sport. I don't know if baseball's kind of that way because you have to. If you are in baseball, you've got to stay 3 years before you can go to the draft.
Yeah.
College. So I don't know about that, but I didn't want to ask that question because I know y'all was talked about it, but I agree with you. Got the bigger schools got more of the resources and more of the wherewithal to do it, and the smaller ones, even the smaller divisions, don't really have the kind of resources. But enjoy y'all's show, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff from the Borough. Wow, you notice, and Chad will get in on this. You notice Jeff didn't say anything about Tennessee and Kentucky last night.
Yeah, of course. That was very short-lived. He didn't bring that up.
Oh,
Drew's not here. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. That is true. Anyway, let's stay on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. B. Rich is with us this morning. Good morning, B. Rich.
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
Good, man.
Hey, I just wanted to touch on kind of what Coach Prime was talking and kind of a little bit bigger picture. Everybody's so hung up on equal now. If we just become a society that is just lessened the importance of hard work and determination. Sometimes people don't realize how, and I'm not just talking about Alabama, all these top-notch level programs.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're top-notch level programs. Hard work, determination, a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see, that just believe they want a piece of that pie. They don't see the hard work that goes into it. They just now believe they're entitled to it and everything has to be equal. And it's not just, football. It's everything now. It's kind of bleeding over. And it's kind of sad that we're putting less importance on hard work and determination and more about do and don't have when it comes to, sports and things like that. I'm all for Title IX and all that kind of stuff. I'm fine with that. But the reason that people, don't watch or watch less of Division II, Division III, and other sports like that is because, it's just not at the same kind of level. And hard work and determination needs to be, I hate to see us lessen that, put less importance in that, less focus on that, more on just people that just want things because they think they need to have it now. So, Coach Prime, I give him his credit because it takes innovative thinkers and head coaches like that to step out of the box.
Yeah.
There's a reason you'll see
look
kind of smaller programs. Cincinnati is a perfect example. 20 years ago, they weren't really that important or you didn't see them on that stage, but you get people in leadership positions that work hard and think out of the box and work hard to get to that level, that's what I like to see rewarded, not just give me this because I think I'm entitled to it.
And you bring up Cincinnati. Luke Fickell signs a contract extension, I believe, yesterday or the day before. $5 million, I believe, per year. So that just tells you where Cincinnati is now as a program. Obviously, they're making the jump to the Big 12, so they have to pay competitive salary now, not the salary that they're getting in the AAC. They've got to bump that up. And the one thing I will say about what Deion said, B-Rich, was that his son, Shedeur Sanders, plays quarterback for Jackson State, has a deal with Tom Brady, TB12, Beats, Gatorade, and all that stuff. If he was not Deion Sanders' son, I guarantee you he probably does not have those deals.
Okay, I couldn't agree more with you, Scott, there. And I'm excited. I think Coach Prime did a great thing this year by flipping the kid from Florida State, and he's bringing a lot of attention and some high-profile kids. And those kids will be rewarded, and maybe that's a springboard for other schools to kind of dip into that pool. But
Alabama A&M, I think Alabama A&M cashed in on that. And I think that you look at the transfer portal, Alabama A&M, I think signed 36 or 35. I could be off on that number. I know it was in the high 30s this past year on signing day. And I think only maybe 3 or 4 of them came from the high school level. The rest were transfer portal guys. So Alabama A&M is – so what Jackson State has done is tried to elevate everybody within the program of the SWAC. And I think Deion Sanders has done that because Alabama A&M is trying to elevate its program so that it doesn't get left behind. And the next program is doing that. And the next program is doing that. As much as Deion Sanders is brash and talks, he's accomplishing what he has set out to accomplish, and that is to try to elevate a conference that needed elevation.
Absolutely. And if the product on the field matches that, the interest level will go up, and then the product, the money and all that will be there as well.
Yeah.
But I hate to see people bring programs down at the top and talk about how it's not equal when those programs have worked damn hard to get where they're at.
And I think, B-Rich, I'm wondering, and Austin, you might be able to add to this too, that's where we might see a split. The Power Five split away, create their own autonomy league because of everything that we're seeing right now. Name, image, and likeness, the ability to sign these kids, the ability to have them. That's where we may see a complete breakaway.
Hey, I appreciate it, fellas. I'll let somebody else jump on here.
Thanks, B-Rich. 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And B-Rich kind of brings up that point. His point was the fact that Deion Sanders is saying, hey, wait a minute. We don't have the opportunities like the big Power 5 schools have. So maybe, you can't cap name, image, and likeness, but maybe you do something different for each division.
Yeah. I could see that, like you say, the FBS, FCS levels, certainly have to be different rules, like you say. The one thing I will say too that I find interesting is he says no cap that he thinks should be allowed there. Let's not forget too who's coaching that program. Let's not forget who those words are coming from. One of the most renowned names in all of sports. So I would certainly think if someone can cash in on this, I would think Coach Prime has a pretty substantial advantage.
All right, Bryant with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning.
Appreciate you taking my call. I really enjoy your program. You all do a first-class job.
Thank you.
What I'm concerned about is money. Being familiar with, I'd say 90, and it's a guess, I'd say 95%, 99% of colleges do not break even in their athletic program. They're all in the hole.
True, they are.
The big conferences make money. They can hire coaches. They can do promotion for players, and these smaller schools can't do it. The problem I think is going to come up is with any labor situation and any kind of agents. When you have a young man out there has got an agent or he's got somebody helping him get this money, and the money might get significant, what happens to the coaches and the coaching staff when they tell this kid they're going to cut him off the team for a certain problem, or what happens when he is cut off the team for academic problem or a disciplinary problem, then they have an agent, and then the agent goes to the coaches or goes to the school, and you have somebody in between the player and the staff. It's going to get to be a labor problem like at NFL or anywhere else.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then with those kids and with the other kids that are not getting this money?
And I think, Brian, I think what we saw, not to that extent, but I think we saw that with Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler got benched midway through the year. Here's a guy coming into the beginning of the year, had what reportedly close to 7 figures in name, image, and likeness, the face of the Oklahoma football program from a name, image, and likeness standpoint, a Heisman preseason candidate winner. I mean, they wanted to give him the award before he even took a snap this year. Doesn't play, gets benched in favor of Caleb Williams. 7-figure name, image, and likeness. He transfers away. And I think a lot of that was simply because he has name, image, and likeness deals. He needs to stay out in the forefront. I think you're going to see guys, if they don't play for some reason or they get benched because of external factors or something happens, this one-time transfer rule is going to come into play. They're going to transfer away because they need to stay in the limelight, to stay in their name, image, and likeness money.
But this totally affects the coaching staff. It totally affects the universities. It puts a different spin on whether a player can play ball or he can't play ball, and it puts the player. It gives the player a one-up on a coach of the university by having an agent that says, "Hey, if your charges don't prove out, let's say that you say this kid can't play, this kid is not as good as another one, then you have a problem." You just have an argument. I think you're diluting the sport. I really do. I think it's greatly diluting the sport.
Well, look at Texas A&M, and I'm going to use them as an example because they were the program at the forefront of recruiting this year. Okay, Texas A&M. They reportedly, and we don't have all the proof, but we're going to go by speculation. We're going to go by what we're hearing. We're going to go by what we see. And that is the fact that they paid X amount of dollars to get this recruiting class, the all-time best recruiting class. They paid all this money to get this recruiting class. What's going to happen when these linemen that are supposedly guaranteed $50,000 to come to the school and they don't play? Jimbo Fisher has pressure now to win a national championship. Jimbo Fisher's relying on 18, 19, 20-year-old kids who have gotten $50,000 to show up to their campus. He is hinging his future on these kids playing well, living up to their expectations, and everything else. If Jimbo Fisher doesn't win a national championship, he's going to be out as a coach because that's going to happen. I mean, that's life. That's coaching world. He's going to be out in 4 or 5 years if he can't win a national championship. So really, it's made college football. It's taken, and I always say this, college football was never pure because there was always behind-the-scenes stuff happening. Always. Don't kid yourself if you believe that. But it's taken what we think is pure about college football and making it unpure.
Well, you're going to have I think that's correct. But I think the main thing is that when these kids get the money and their parents get the money, and then there's a lawyer involved and they get an agent, then the coaches will not be able to react.
Yeah.
As far as using common sense, they're going to have to react using it. Are we going to get sued as a university? Am I going to get sued because I made a wrong decision? And everybody makes wrong decisions. And it's just going to be a very complicated thing. And the smaller universities are not going to be able to compete. I don't know what's happening. I think it's a cluster mess.
All right, Brian. Well, thanks for the phone call, bud.
Thanks for taking it. Goodbye.
It is a mess. And that's the thing. The NCAA, and they get probably a nomination for Moron of the Decade because Mark Emmert sat back and sat on his hands and didn't do anything. A lot of this could have been prevented. If the NCAA would have been proactive instead of reactive, a lot of this could have already been taken care of. They could have had this coming. I mean, you knew this was coming. I mean, it didn't take a genius to figure out that name, image, and likeness was coming. Once one state has a bill, and then another state, and then another state, you know it's coming. And you go to Congress and you try to plead, come on, we know Washington, D.C. doesn't move any faster than what the NCAA does. It's a snail's pace up there to get something done. So a lot of this is on the NCAA, and they're just going to have to try to figure something out because it's not. The solution is not easy. We can't come up with the solution in 45 minutes on this show. We can't. We don't have the time. All right, let's get a break in because when we come back, we're going to talk high school basketball. Frankie Sullivan, the James Clemens Jets. He's going to blast off with us next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Getting a reportable wreck southbound on Research Park around Old Monrovia. Already had one down closer to Old Madison Pike just before you get to 565. That one had 3 vehicles involved. Sounds like HPD's done a pretty good job of getting it moved out of the way. You get 2 pieces of that Louisiana seasoned chicken or 3 of the tenders, 2 sides, and a biscuit for only $6. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
If you need a car, Mercury Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, Mercury Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit MercurySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Memorial Parkway. Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental is independently owned and operated by local folks right here in the Valley? They are celebrating 10 years in the business this year and have grown to be North Alabama's largest supplier of rental skid steers and mini excavators. Now, if you have a question about what tool to use, just call them at 964-6081, and the pros at Valley Equipment will get you into the tool that you need for your specific project. Valley Equipment, more care in every rental.
What began in a backyard in the 1920s is still going strong today. In this area, the name Gibson means barbecue. And even after over 65 years in Huntsville, Gibson's is trusted for delicious barbecue pork, chicken, ribs, freshly baked pies, and the best breakfast in town. Family owned and operated for 4 generations. Gibson's Barbecue, South Parkway in Huntsville, and online at Gibson'sBBQ.com. Gibson's Barbecue, Huntsville's best since 1956.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Yep, I said before. Block heartburn at the source by taking the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. With just 1 pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn relief. That's all day. Start the 2-week challenge today at PrilosecOTC.com and live heartburn-free. Just 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
This is the only place for Drew DeArmond, Wes Neighbors, and of course, Tom Abraham.
I never met him, but I hear that he's a man of character.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back to Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Austin Collette filling in for Drew DeArmond today. Drew is at the Northeast Regional taking in some 7A boys and girls basketball there. Sparkman in action ×2. Huntsville in action ×2. Drew DeArmond down there taking in and following the bouncing ball. Now, Class 7A from the Northwest Regional will get underway tomorrow, and that'll be at Wallace State, Hanceville. Beautiful facility up there for basketball. Great spot for the Northwest Regional. They've been hosting it for years on the campus of Wallace State, Hanceville. And 7A tomorrow, coming up at 1:30, you're going to get Oak Mountain and Austin. But at 10:30 in the morning, you get the area champions, and that would be the James Clemens Jets. And we had a chance to catch up with their head coach preseason. Before all the games started, we were on the campus of James Clemens, and we had a chance to catch up with Frankie Sullivan there on the campus of James Clemens to get his thoughts leading into the year. And he told us then that this team could be special and that they could be really good. And come to find out, Austin, they do go on to win the area championship on the road against the Austin Black Bears. And Coach Sullivan, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline this morning. Coach, good morning. Good morning, and welcome in.
Thank you. Good morning also, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on. It's always a pleasure.
All right, Coach. Well, first of all, take us through the area. You have to go on the road to get by an Austin team in the area tournament. And the road has been kind to the Jets down the stretch as of late, but you're able to prevail in a hostile environment against a very talented Black Bear team.
Yes, sir. I think our guys came in focused and locked in. First, I want to give kudos to Austin. Deacon's doing a great job over there with those guys, man. Everybody know that Austin was super athletic, and they play hard to the clock on zero. So I want to give them credit first, but I also want to give my guys credit to staying resilient. I think that our strength of schedule this year helped us out in that game. We're playing guys like Pepperbrook and playing Sparkman and Grissom. Those type of team in that kind of environment puts you in a playoff atmosphere all the time. So it helped us out in that game, definitely for sure. Our strength of schedule.
Taking a look at your team over this last, really since the new year has started, and I've noticed you've won 8 of your last 9. You've gone 9-2 since the new year has began. What has been the turning point from your season to now? Because it looked at the beginning, the first 2 months, your team is just above, but they're close to a 500 record, and now they've really surpassed that.
Yes, the senior leadership of my seniors, the guys stepped up even in practice. I got to the point now where I'm just there. I don't really have to say much. The guys, they know the expectation of what the coaches want. They basically run practice right now. And anytime I told the guys once the team becomes a senior-led team or either the players leading the team, then you're always looking for something special. And those guys stepped up to the plate and have been doing that for the past 3 months.
Well, Coach, take us through who kind of shined in that area tournament for you guys.
The biggest step up for us, I know everybody knows about Jordan Fraser on our team over here. James Clemens was our go-to guy, our key guy. But John Paul Gilmore, our 5-man, have really stepped this game up. He had a double-double against Austin. He's been rebounding. He's doing the little things, man. Boxing out, dive for loose balls, being very communicating very well on offense and defense for us. So Keenan Walker also has been tremendous on defense. we just had a bunch of guys that step up at the right time. I think it's the next man up mentality that we're taking, and the guys are buying into it. So it's doing really well for us.
Well, let's look ahead to this week, and you go to Wallace State, Hanceville. This is kind of where you expected this team. When we talked to you at the beginning of the year, we were sitting out there at the practice field, James Clemens. This is where you thought this team would be. Now you're there at the Northwest Regionals.
Yes, sir. Watch a ton of film on Thompson. They're super big and athletic, so we know it's going to be a good game. But our game plan is just to go and be ourselves. Like, don't get out of your character. Just do what you've been doing the last 3 months, and I think we'll have a great chance of winning the ball game. And not saying it's going to be easy by any means, because this road has been very tough. And it's great for our guys. It's great for the community of Madison. So I think it's great for us all around that we're playing in a game like this. And it's exactly what we wanted to be. So now that we're here, we need to show that why we should be here.
We saw you play in the Huntsville City Classic. And how has this team changed? How has this differ? Or how has this team improved or gone along since that Huntsville City Classic?
I think just facing adversity, a lot of things we went south, made some silly fouls in Huntsville times that was not necessary at the time. But it's guys, young guys growing and understanding in a hostile environment, you have to keep your head and just play cool. Myself also just changing the way that I coach the guys. Not as much yelling, because I like to yell. It's just my style of coaching, but just relaxing, just doing more mentoring during the course of the game and fixing things and adjusting as well. So I think the guys are adjusting well to the way the referee calls the games and how I coach.
You know, Coach, you're getting ready to take on a very tough Thompson team, as you say. But, again, your team is on a rather good roll right now. And what's the mindset of your team going into this big-time tournament game? How are the players feeling as they get ready to take on this tough squad?
They know it's going to be a rough game. It's going to be a very physical game from watching film the last 3 days on these guys. And I think that our guys just understand that what's on the line for them. This could be their last senior game, and it could be the last game of the season for us. So they're taking that mentality to understand that it's a big game, but also that you have to the team that wakes up at 10:30 in the morning ready to go is going to be the team to win. If you come out sluggish and get behind, it's going to be a problem. But both teams handle the ball well and are playing well at this point in time in the season. So I think for my guys, it's just being focused and understanding the task at hand.
You mentioned Jordan Fraser, and you mentioned, that's the name that comes to mind the most when we talk about James Clemens. But obviously, how's he kind of elevated his game down the stretch?
Jordan, in the last 4 games, Jordan Fraser averaged 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Woo. For us, and those are numbers that's talking to me. I think that he's changed it up on defense. He's executing well for us. He's making big shots for us. When a guy step up like that, that's why I said we had some special. He's finally turning that corner. A lot of people didn't think that he would get there, and he's finally getting there. So after the season, we definitely going to find him a great school to attend in college, because the kid deserves to be shown his next level, because he's at his next level talent.
Coach, obviously, when you get to this point in the season, you have to have bench. How big has the bench been, or how key has the bench been down this stretch where James Clemens has been playing really good basketball?
I brought up 2 guys in the Huntsville Times. I know you saw my dad.
Yeah.
I call them the little midget, Pierce Roper and Peyton Roper. They're twins. So Peyton is Pierce's little brother. Well, I'll say little brother, but little twin. He has been tremendous on defense for us. And also I bring up Nate Jennings, who's also a great football player, but also another 5-man for us, bringing that physicality in the paint. And those young guys have stepped to the plate, and they have done a tremendous job for us off the bench. But Tyree Walker comes off the bench for us. I think my bench is pretty deep for 7A basketball. The guys that I played at least 11 guys. So just those guys stepping up in key moments and key games have helped us out tremendously, making big shots and getting big stops.
Coach, your team, you've won your last 3 games, 2 of those coming in the area championship tournament. What does it mean to you and your squad, especially in your first year as the coach? What does it mean to you to walk out as an area champion in your debut?
Like this is our second year winning it. So I think that the guys from last year knew what was at stake, and now last year was the first year winning the area. So they just wanted to be okay with winning the area, and you can see that during the second game when we lost to Oak Mountain. But right now, these guys are focused and they're not done yet, and I think that's a great mentality to have going into it. For me, it's just a great feeling of seeing that I'm trying to turn the program around, and you seeing it come to fruition from the first year that I took over as head coach.
Yeah, making that trip to Wallace State. Now, I mentioned in the intro that it's a beautiful facility, great building to watch basketball in. Can be a tough environment to shoot the basketball in because of the backdrop. Feeling a little bit more confident going over there this year because the guys have that experience now from being at Wallace State, Hansville. They know what the environment's like. They know what the floor, the backdrop, and everything can be like, that you can make that run in 2 games to get to Birmingham.
Yes, I think our guys are ready, and the way we've been playing inside out as the last couple games, that it helps us out a whole lot with our jump shots because, like everybody know, when you practice, you rebound from under the rim to pass it out. So once we start, we want to establish inside position with our guys and get some points in the paint. I think the shots start falling. And once our guys calm down, like I said, everybody's gonna be nervous because it's like the first year back from COVID year and not playing at Wallace last year. This should be a great experience for us overall.
Coach, I know you alluded to it a little bit, but Thompson, when we talk on the football side, Thompson's dominant. I mean, obviously we know it. But has the roles kind of reversed a little bit here, that the basketball in North Alabama, so people can kind of equate to it, that the basketball level here in North Alabama is similar to what they have in football, that we kind of really – we have I think the elevated play when it comes to basketball up here in the North.
Yes, sir. I think the elevated play has definitely turned the tide up here in the North. You're bringing in great coaches all over North Alabama right now, and I think that the players are starting to step up and be more physical. You're starting to see that down south mentality. I think I see a lot from when I came down there. This guy just being tough, being a lot tougher than they used to be up here. So I think with the coaching staff coming up here and all schools up here, it's helping out tremendously. So hopefully we go down and all school represent today and tomorrow. And also I want to give Coach Weir a good shout out.
Yeah.
His guys go out and take care of business. And they just represent the North very well. That's what I want for the coaches up here.
There we go. All right, James Clemens tomorrow morning, 10:30, Wallace State, Hansville, taking on Thompson. And, Coach, if all goes right, you could see Austin for a trip to go to Birmingham.
Listen, that's another battle. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right. Hey, by the way, congratulations on your alma mater, #1 ranked team in the country for a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It was great watching those guys I got down last Saturday to watch them play. They're playing very well also.
All right. Coach Frankie Sullivan, James Clemens Jets joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, good luck, and we'll see you along the road.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Frankie Sullivan, former Auburn Tiger. Yeah, played for Cliff Ellis down there at the Auburn, down there, Beardies, and his brother, Lewis Sullivan, played over at Hazel Green and then went to UAB. So basketball is a rich tradition in the Sullivan household. So good stuff there. So in case you are wondering, other games today, Austin will take on Oak Mountain at 1:30. Now, those are tomorrow from the Northwest Regional at Wallace State, Hansville. And coming up today, once again, on the girls' side, over at Jacksonville State, Bob Jones will take on Oak Mountain tomorrow. That's tomorrow at the Northwest Regional. I'm getting them all. See, I get them mixed up between the Northwest and the Northeast. The Northwest Regional tomorrow in 7A girls, Bob Jones and Oak Mountain at noon. Hoover and Florence will kick things off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the girls' side. Today, from the Northeast Regional at Jacksonville State, Sparkman will take on Hewitt Trussville at noon. And then at 9 a.m., coming up in 20 minutes, Huntsville will take on Vestavia Hills on the girls' side. And then on the boys' side, Huntsville will meet Vestavia Hills at 10:30. Sparkman and head coach Jamie Coggins will take on Spain Park at 1:30. That is coming up today. Now, tomorrow again on the boys' side, Austin, Oak Mountain, 1:30. James Clemens Thompson at 10:30 from the Northwest Regional at Jackson State, Hansville. You ever been over there at Wallace State, Hansville? Have you been inside the Tom Drake Coliseum? Man, for a junior college facility, it's fantastic.
Now, I have been to Pete Matthews a couple of times. Actually, I had the chance to go over there this past late September, early October. I had the chance to go over there. It's very nice. Matter of fact, a few years ago, UNA took a basketball trip over there. It was their first year at Division I, and I actually had the chance to see the Pete Matthews Coliseum when it was still under construction from tornado
damage.
So
The renovation stuff, yeah.
So to see it now from where it was 4 or 5 years ago, it's incredible.
I tell you what, you bring up UNA and you bring up Jacksonville State. So glad that Jacksonville State's making that move to the A-Sun.
Yes.
And going to be in the same conference now, aligned with UNA on football and basketball. I mean, it goes back so deep on the football side, goes so deep on the basketball side. I am so glad that both of them are going to be in the A-Sun conference.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I actually had the chance about a month ago when A-Sun play started up, had the chance to call Jacksonville State coming back home to play UNA. And it was special. You know, there were some old Jacksonville State faces that turned up at the game, I was told. There's always something special about a rivalry game, but just a little bit more when it starts back up. Now,
it does.
Yeah. Now UNA and Jacksonville State had played each other recently in Division I. That I think it was the 2017-18 year that the men had got together, but it had been since I think it was 25 to 30 years since the women had played each other.
Wow.
So it's like you say, that rivalry, it's back. And you talk about the history in football. Those 4 programs back to back won national championships at the
Division II level.
Yeah, Division II. UNA won 3 straight, and then I think it was Jacksonville State after that three-peat, if I remember correctly.
Bobby Wallace, the longtime coach there at UNA, the longtime athletics director at West Alabama, where we'll be tonight. And so go down there when UAH would face West and have a chance to talk to Bobby Wallace and stuff. And, it's just – the history, the stories, and everything that he could tell, and that's why that rivalry, UNA and Jack State, it means so much. And I'm glad because attendance-wise, that's where those programs thrive, is attendance. That's where they get their money. We're talking about name, image, and likeness and all that other stuff. It's about still gate. It's about getting people in the gate for the Division II schools. Yeah. That's why it means so much to UNA and Jacksonville State. All right, 8:43, let's get that final break in. Tomorrow's headlines today. We're going to wrap up the show. Coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Haven't picked up anything new accident-wise. Had a couple reported on Research Park southbound from about Old Monrovia down to 565. Those should be taken care of now. Just got a report of a problem with the traffic signals in Athens. 72 in Lindsay Lane and 72 in Mooresville Road. Both are reported out completely. 2030 Fast Track can make your clothes fall off. Allison lost 100 pounds in 7 months on the plan. A free hormone quiz will tell you if the program can work for you. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000-square-foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I love overpriced stuff. Avocados, designer t-shirts, artisanal water. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. Paying more for the same stuff. What could be better?
Wow is better. For just $19.99 a month, we give you the super fast, extra reliable internet you need. Act now before this deal is gone. Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at Huawei.com. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Austin Collette filling in for Drew DeArmond. We're almost done. How would you rate your 2 hours of fun so far?
How would I rate him in terms of just having fun?
Sure. I mean, how would you? I mean, you enjoying this? You enjoying sitting in here?
It's different, so I can't put it at a 10. I'd say maybe a 7 or an 8.
Wow.
You know, it's just trying to figure it out.
Probably because we didn't bring free biscuits in. That's probably why it's not a 10, because we didn't bring in free biscuits.
That's so funny you say that. I was listening to my uncle's radio show on the way up here this morning.
Yeah.
And it's called Biscuit and Gravy.
Okay.
No joke. It's called Biscuit and Gravy. It's with Brian and Tracy, so kind of a rhyme there. So that is hilarious that you mentioned a biscuit this morning.
Well, it's radio. The one thing that we know on this show is food. That is the one thing we know on this show is food. A couple things for your tomorrow's headlines today. Auburn releasing their spring schedule for football yesterday. March 14th, they're going to open up practice. And then April 9th, they're going to get Auburn's A-Day inside Jordan-Hare Stadium. So that'll be Brian Harson's second A-Day, and it all begins with practice on March 14th. National headline, Slovakia stuns Team USA in men's hockey last night on the ice. A quarterfinal game. This one went to a shootout. Team USA goes 0 for 5 in a shootout as they exit the men's Olympic hockey quarterfinals. They leave Beijing without a medal, making this its third straight Olympics without a medal on the ice. Their last Winter Games hardware was a silver medal that they won in Vancouver. You got to go all the way back to 2010 for that one. They have not won gold since. You ready for this? Miracle on Ice in 1980. That's the last time Team USA has won gold in men's hockey. 1980. And it will not happen this year. So you think about it, last several years, Team USA, last few Olympics, they have had NHL stars on the ice, not able to get it done. The last team to do it, team of amateurs, college guys, beating professional guys. 1980, Miracle on Ice, Lake Placid. All right, so that is that. And always like to throw some humor stuff at you. Have you ever looked at Cameo? Do you know what Cameo is?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Cameo, by the way, is where you get on there on an app and you pay celebrities, you pay stars, you pay coaches for a personal message that you can send to somebody. So you can go and get you can get Mike Leach, for instance, from Mississippi State. You pay what, I gotta look at it and see how much Mike Leach is, but usually it's around $75 to $100, maybe $200, and they personally record a message, and then you send it to that person. So Mike Leach was paid money to send a message to a Texas Longhorn fan.
Hey, Podoloff, this is Mike Leach reaching out from Aaron. Hey, he just wants me to reinforce a few points with you. The SEC isn't scared of a team that goes 5-7 in the Big 12. And then the other thing, I hear Texas loses every game that you attend, so I assume you were there in 2008 where Crabtree made the catch when Texas Tech played number 1 Texas. And the other, maybe you should skip the Kansas game this year so Texas can go to a bowl. Okay, and I'll tell you, just as a personal favor, if Texas moves into the SEC, I want to personally invite you to attend every game that Mississippi State plays Texas in, because I don't want to take any chances with this. So, hey, you can personally, at my invitation, come attend every game that Texas plays Mississippi State in, because, listen, we need your help. We want your help. And listen, and you've got the magic touch. You've got the magic touch. Anybody that does 100%, Texas loses every time you attend. Hey, we need you there. Look, we got hot dogs. We got popcorn. We can get you to the beverage section, whatever you need. Anyway, Podoloff, Hail State.
So Mike Leach was paid to do a cameo video appearance. How much would you pay a college coach to do so? Would you pay Cameo to do that?
Personally, no, I wouldn't. That's not my particular cup of tea.
Well, okay, I want to see how much it would cost. It cost Mike Leach to do that on Cameo. So if you want Mike Leach to do that, a personal use, a one-time personalized video for you or someone else is $150 for Mike Leach to do that. Now, if you have a business, okay, if you want to do an engaging video content for your company, customers, or employees, $1,050 for Mike Leach to do that. So somebody paid Mike Leach $150 to record that message.
Wow.
I'm trying to see if there's any other NCAA stars here that you can do on Cameo that we would actually know. You could do one for LeVar Ball, $133, LeVar Ball. Oscar Tshiebwe from Kentucky, the dominant center, $100 if you want him to send you a message. But Mike Leach is $150. I thought that was pretty funny. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the name. Ray Lewis. $350 for Ray Lewis to do a cameo appearance for you. Whew. That'd be interesting to get Ray Lewis to do one. All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Just a few more minutes of the show. Actually, the final horn should be sounding here very soon. Thank you for sitting in for Drew DeArmond today.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to send a shout out to Steve Moulton for the call. It's been a pleasure.
Austin Collette, you've heard him on Huntsville High football, Huntsville High basketball, Huntsville Havoc hockey. When are the guys back in action again? When
Friday. They travel to Birmingham, does the Havoc, and then Sunday they're back home against Birmingham. So they'll have an off day on Saturday.
Congratulations to Cy Nukovic, all-time leading scorer now for the Huntsville Havoc. He's been around forever, and forever and ever and ever. But Cy is one of the good guys. He plays with his heart and soul, and he is one of the good guys. He's really one of the backbones, one of the true veterans in this league. You don't see a guy skate this long in the SPHL.
Yeah,
like
9
you've
years
seen
if
Cy.
I remember correctly.
Yeah. He's been through it all. The ups and downs. I believe he was skating while head coach Glenn Detelio was still a player for the Havoc. So,
wow.
Yeah. That just tells you how long he's been in the league. All right, that's going to do it for our Wednesday show. Hey, Drew DeArmond is going to take you home Thursday and Friday. I'm going to be at State Wrestling Thursday and Friday, so I will not be here for the next 2 days. Don't forget, UAH basketball tonight on 97.7 ESPN The Zone 2. Alabama basketball. Pre-game coverage starts with the Crimson Tide Sports Network at 5 o'clock. Tip-off set for 6 o'clock. So long, everybody. Thank you, Coach John Shulman, Frankie Sullivan. See you back here on Thursday.